Thank you for coming, whatever brings you here, whatever relation, inspiration, impulse. We bow to that and we're grateful for your presence. We begin by giving respects to this place, this ground, concrete or not, all the creatures that share this place with us, the hawks, the possums, the caterpillars, the ants, the bacteria, and all those that walked here before us with understanding and recognition of interdependence. We give our respects and gratitude. I have taken 108 oaths of silence only to awaken in the night whispering a chorus of your names. Underneath the hallowed drum beats the heart, feet from pulsing, inside palms open lines, midwives to surrender. So I don't know. I must, yes, what do you understand of me? Teach me, name me, it will form thee from the sound up. As disciples of let, prophets of breath, no longer dependent on the dropping of diaphragms in debt. So the chains, they are the key, one note, a symphony to seek, a seed syllable reseeds as the color of water. It is the color of the vessel, shape of the note, shape of the hollow. Go. Catalog the first 1,000 ways to kneel and kiss the ground for the beauty it's in our choice. How we seek to feel this same void, and I choose this noise. I scream your names with your voice. So can we let go of our past all at once? No more game of a zero summed, the closeness of the one, parentage of the two, pyramid of the three, for we cannot simply be stuck in a body. More has been told. A body within the soul, all at once. Feather your weight from what your mother's made. This sound has come to confirm your place. For you are complete from whichever way, well, you may say. Some wings are placed to stay. Raise your eyes for a minute, it's only time that we're given. We will find our living in this. Over lines that were given, mind in rhyme. In the rhythm, we will find our peace with pain. So mind your path and wake your fate. It can only be there where you lay. For all the way to heaven was heaven itself. So feather your weight from what your lover gave. This sound has come to confirm what you've made. For you are complete from whichever way. See, you may pray. Well, some days have come to say, raise your eyes for a minute. It's only time that we're given. We will find our living in this. Over lines that were given. Monday rhyme in the rhythm. We will find our peace with pain. So mind your path and wake your fate. It can only be where you lay. For all the way to heaven was heaven itself. Raise your eyes for a minute. It's only time that we're given. We will find our living in this. Over lines that were given. Monday rhyme in the rhythm. We will find our peace with pain. So there, mind your path, then wake your fate. Can only be there, well, where you lay. For all the way to heaven was heaven. But I still hold you though, well, in my ways. Well, how my life could be a gift, well, through my days. See, I've been roaming around, searching the sunrise for that sound, well, of your voice. So build me up, then build me down. Life found in stories manifest in sound. Build me up, then build me down. My life found in stories manifest in sound. So fill me up, then fill me out. My life found in stories manifest in sound. All right. Thank you. Thank you for coming and for this beautiful, intimate moment together on film, in our eyes, in our ears, in our bodies. It is a pleasure to be here and so grateful for you to be here. So I opened with a poem, a little invocation. First to sort of ground us here, but also to nod to these unexpected paths in our lives. That opening poem was written about a friend of mine, a bhakti yogi who I traveled with for many years, and how the unexpected process of me coming to mantra music through her beautiful drumming and her beautiful singing and her beautiful spirit, and how that seemingly unexpected path led me into a deep well of music that then threaded into my songwriting. And my hope is that these songs carry that spirit of the mantra music of a meditative, devotional love letter to life, to the forces of life, to the forces of death, and to the cycles. And yet it is in my own tongue. It's in a language that I speak every day. And that's my intention for this music. And that first piece is called Minute, and it was the song that we played after. I wrote it for a very dear friend of mine whose brother committed suicide. And the words, "Raise your eyes for a minute. It's only time that we're given. We will find our living in this." So those of us that carry on after someone takes their own life. Over lines that were given, minding rhyme in the rhythm, we will find our peace with pain. And many years ago, that same bhakti friend and we received this compliment that said, "I think your work together and your work in the world is to help us make peace with our pain." And I never forgot that as one of the most interesting and specific types of feedback that really struck me. And so that dear friend that I wrote that song for actually died 2 months ago, right after his 37th birthday. So this amazing process with which death and a life cut short is an invitation into our own lives. And I also would be remiss to also say we're missing a friend of ours up here tonight. Our dear friend Arjun was supposed to play percussion with us, and he was with his father, who actually just passed while we were sound checking here. So it's the power of this music, it's the power of returning to these practices, whether it's music or any that we have, that brings that intentionality, brings that presence, that contact with the delicate nature of life and the fragile time we have together. So this next piece we'll play for you is called Songs of Free Will, and it's written about this interesting dance between fate and free will. Many years ago, a dear cousin of mine said, "Eric, do you believe in fate or free will?" And I said, I can only believe in both at the same time. And he's a rocket scientist, so he wasn't so steady in that in between. But this is about being available for your fate. So it's called Songs of Free Will. Make all new again before that common tongue. The riddle lays its own untying. The shape of a wheel was free, so don't chase all new again before that common one. The riddle plays its own untying. See, the shape of a wheel was free. So shelter me good, then shelter me whole. Shelter me humble as we go. Then stand for my eyes, stand for my feet,
Your gaze lights my song ablaze with heat. So who we are to the morning is who we are to ourselves. For time has come for the forming, well, of that trust where we've withheld. No, no. They say there's risk in the living, but it's over time. They say the wealth's in the giving, if I could find the time. But remember the sound, well, of your soul. Well, I can only, well, sing you a feeling. No, no, no. Well, let it feed you. It's in our hearts that we see ya. No, no. Won't you be kind to yourself? Lean into those lines where you've yet to be. Won't you be kind to yourself? Sing into those lines where you've yet to grow. Well, and see. No, no, no. So place the weight in my heels, sing to my skin until it feels, well, Lord, I see it now, with my own eyes. Will glory behold, will story be still, will each song of free will come, come, carry me. See, there's a cold front coming on, but we keep these fires burning for you, my dear. And we can hold heaven in these arms, but only for one day burning for us to start. Stay up, find the well home within your heart. Wait up, find the time for this to be the start. I come alone, I come here to make time. I'm coming home, I know it's over my head. I come alone, I come here to make time. I'm coming home, I know it's over my time. So who we are to the morning, it is who we are to ourselves. And time has come for the forming, well, of that trust where we withheld. So won't you be kind to yourself? Lean into those lines where you've yet to be. Won't you be kind to yourself? Sing into those lines where you've yet to grow and see. So place the weight in my heels, sing to my skin until it feels, well, oh, to see it now, with my own eyes, will glory behold, and story be still, well, each song of free will, come, come, carry me.
Right. We get a little raucous banjo just right in. You know, it's a nice way to open all of us. All right, I got my hair swimming. I am so grateful to be joined by Noah Hoffelt here. This beautiful spirit. It has been just such a joy to share and make sound with Noah, and he's a man of many harmonies, intelligences, and sensitivities. So it's a real joy to be with you here. Thank you. It's mine. So that last piece, songs of free will, right? So the fate and free will. To undertake any artistic path it's an act of faith, it's a nod to fate, it's a leap of free will, all at the same time. And one of the lines in there, time has come for the forming of the trust where we've withheld. So this place of the threshold of our trust, where is that threshold between places in ourselves, between ourselves and others? And that threshold often will be a deep well for relationship, for art of any kind. So this next piece that we'll play for you is a fun outgrowth of some of that work with my friend, the Bhakti yogi I traveled with is a dear friend named Prema Mai. Some of you may know her, amazing percussionist, singer in spirit. And I also traveled for many years, I have been traveling for many years with a storyteller. Those of you that know me know this, but for those that don't, this process of embracing our stories. So in that first piece, Minute, there's a line that says, mind your path. So mind, meaning mind our own paths. It's so easy to have an opinion about someone else's life, right? And maybe it's easy to have an opinion about our own life too. But that process of really tending to our own path and our own garden. Wake your fate, it can only be there where you lay, for all the way to heaven was heaven itself. And so this process of really honoring the place that we are, the stories that unfold around us, a lot of the work with storytelling that's so fascinating, that feeds into the songwriting, is how can we honor the stories that are unfolding around us in the natural world? And within our own lives as deep teaching stories. And so this next song is a playful song within that sphere, and it was written as my dear partner Diana and I were walking down from the Himalayas, from a trek in the Himalayas, and noticing, rather, as we were heading up, while we were ascending, all the villagers were heading down to the valleys every day. Many of them, carrying amazing baskets full of tea and machetes and cloths and spices, and then, of course, that source in the valley was the source of food that was feeding all of us as we trekked to these heights, to these almost inhospitable sites, or heights rather. And so this song is about that source sort of maybe in the lowly places, that really is the physical nourishment that feeds our journeys and our steps.
take me down to your valleys where that harvest lays. Lay me out with your curtains, for my work is play. Take me down to your valleys where that harvest is made. Lay me out with your curtains, for my work is play. We take our chances on the road. We hold our lives as our own now. And we sing the universal now. We wing the universal all out. So take me down to your valleys where the old ones still know how to pray. Lay me out with the creek's bed, make my living, well, my giving of thanks. Take me down to your valleys where the old ones still know how to pray. Lay me out with the creek's bed, make my living, well, my giving of thanks. We take our chances on the road. We hold our lives as our own now. So just wait for the breath to find its space in the sound. Trust that this place will just be us being found. So wait for the breath to find its space in the sound. Trust that this place, it will just be us being found. So take me down to your valleys where the harvest lays. Lay me out with your curtains, for my work is play. Take me down to your valleys where that harvest is made. Lay me out with your curtains, for my work is play. Tune my guitar down here for a moment. So many of the stringed instruments of the world often are tuned to an open chord, so I play a lot of my songs in open tunings. And so you might see me fiddling up and down. I've tried to do my best to keep it minimal, but it gives this nice open sounds for those guitar players out there. All right. How's everybody doing out there? The sound's okay? It's good? All right, we're in the darkness. You're in the in the shadows, So I lived for, as we would say in California, a hot minute
But A Hot Minute was actually a year and a half on and off in the Southern Appalachians, in outside of the city of Asheville in Madison County, the last bastion of Scotch English balladry. And there's this amazing tradition of vocal music in Madison County and Buncombe County, that area around Asheville. And so I was introduced to this amazing process of storytelling through song. And I loved, of course, the banjo and its percussive, amazing African roots, and then its amazing evolution in the States. And so what you'll hear is a Californian playing a banjo, and yet I was steeped in that tradition for a hot minute. And so you'll get a little bit of the fusion on these next pieces. So this next piece is called Meaning Maker. It's the first tune off the new album that Noah and I did together. And there's so much talk in our lives, in our media, and in our literature and philosophies around finding meaning. And often there is not as much spoken about around making meaning in our participation, our relational constructing of meaning and our participation. And so this song is about that process of making meaning.
A nest for the making of meaning will open your eyes when you dream. It's you and I in a feeling, coming alive when we sing. Sing it back, well, one more time. The cards they lay where they lay. Stars say what they say, but trust your days. Trust your days, my darling. We come alive from the breath. The song learns the singer from what is left. So we're left with the making of meaning. Well, open your eyes when you see. It's you and I in a dreaming, coming alive when we speak. Flower, flower from the seed, I seek your nectar like my sister bee. I will work myself at breakneck speed, for this living condition never comes with ease. But I woke up this morning in the middle of my highs and lows. I feel it's time that I go, but sleep, my honey, this feels natural. But sing it back, well, one more time. The cards they lay where they lay. Stars say what they say, but trust your days. Trust your days, my darling. We come alive from the breath. The song it learns, the singer from what is left. This nest for the making of meaning, it coming alive when we sing. It's you and I in a feeling, well, we divide where we need. Tower, tower from the tree, I seek your There she weaves the willow. Can't leave the dreams on the pillow, but there they lie. They're bound to speak of time to time. Will you let me be absent, babe? Will you let me surrender my fate? Or is the promised land just the next generation. See, I've carried chance on the back of light forming over where the mountainside. Well, I've buried my hands, well, in the river coursing. It only speaks of the mountainside, but leave my bones, well, an altar for the breeze. Leave my bones, well, a compass to the sea. Well, there she weaves the willow. Can't leave the dreams on the pillow, but there they lie. They're bound to speak of time to time. Will you let me be absent, babe? Will you let me surrender my fate? For is the promised land just the next generation? Sing it back well, one more time. The cards they lay where they lay. Stars will say what they say, but trust your days, my darling. We come alive from the breath. The song will learn the singer from what is left.
So that last piece, I'm always so fascinated where this is landing in everyone. I just get to live up here in my thoughts for a little while and then hear about it afterwards. So that the particular line that jumps out at me is, will you let me, the end of the chorus is the promised land, just the next generation. And this was an interesting line as it was kind of developing in the song. And, this idea that often we're looking not only for our own personal arrival at some sort of destination, however eluding it will be in so many ways, and yet thinking of a promised land as a place or a particular arrangement of humans, and yet this constant passing of the torch to the next generation, and the ways that we show up as a generation, as a gathering of generations, and how that itself is a passed on place in the coming generations, is fed into that idea of constructing meanings intergenerationally. Just some light material for a song to be written about. So you heard a little clawhammer banjo on that last piece too. Clawhammer is that amazing kind of percussive style from the South. So this next piece, we're building a little, maybe a lot bit of improv into this, which is a joy for us to play together in that space, knowing a loose form as many as you probably know in your own lives, having that nice container and yet to be able to play within it. So we're going to do another poem for you into this next piece. The act of listening itself, it was the one true voice. And it matters not who speaks, it only matters how you hear the truth. For you may meet moments where it will take absolutely no effort to sit. The intricate of so simple, liquid waves for jade the clouds are in the wood grain, and every single running river is named in the same direction. As this type of faith, it's now told as confession, as the swelling of the stream. Tattvam asi, thou art that, this is it found. Remember, embers of the sound of the prayer praying us around space. It is the Buddha, the poet, sitting silently still with no thing to say. It's an all-stall heart and mind connected by a two-way waterfall in between voids. Without filling, waterfalls begin spilling as interdependent threads. Every stitch only affects the rest. Heart and mind connected by a two-way waterfall in between voids. Without filling, waterfalls begin spilling as interdependent threads. Every stitch only affects the rest. Lifting the latch is the test. For the act of listening itself was the one true voice, and it matters not who speaks. It only matters how you hear the truth. Make your cut, take your leave. The creek bed will speak, but it will not recede. And you want roots, but we give the seed. Find our fabric and know that our weave is one. Well, prove ancient is a heart awakened. Before freedom from the sun, sing now. So old, Fate is faith, wake the sea. Only an ocean walking will make them believe. We are truth and we read the leaves. Find our fabric and know what we reap is one. Well, see, prove ancient is just one heart awakened. Before freedom from the sun, sing now. It's 8 shades up from the dawn. It's that boldness to call your life home, where each leaf is a page to read. My sacred scriptures, they become smithereens, and they sing now in
old song. Say we won't be too numb to sing to our dark times. Well, when they come, no, no. Well, old song, lay us on the wings of your breath for each weightless soul. Well, old song, pray we won't be too numb to sing to our dark times. But when they come, no, no. Well, old song, lay us on the wings of your breath, well, until we know. Your trust, thank your needs cannot be taught, but we see the revealing, and none can hold a high or low. Find our fabric and know what we know is one. Well, see, prove ancient is just one heart awakened before freedom from the sun. Sing now, so old, but it's 8 shades up from the dawn. There, that boldness to call your life home, where each leaf is a page to read, but my sacred scriptures, they become smithereens. But they sing, love will be washed of the old, a fresh start for the whole. We're seeds down and we know only to begin from where we are. Love washed to the old, fresh start for the whole. Seeds down and we know only that numbered leaves still fall. So old song, but say we won't be too numb to sing to our dark times. When they come, no, no. Well, old song, just lay us on the wings of your breath for each weightless soul. Well, old song, just say we won't be too numb to sing to our dark times. When they come, no, no. Well, old song, just lay us on the wings of your breath for each weightless soul. So make your cut and take your leave. The creek bed will speak, but it will not recede. And you want roots, but we give the seed. Find our fabric and know that our reap is So yeah, that there's so much material for us to cover. I think I'm so excited. It's fun because I know a lot of the folks here in the audience, and we have had very sweet conversations about a lot of these things, and now you're hearing it in these songs, which is very fun. And I was having, we were having a very sweet experience, yesterday, speaking about a lot of the different timely
sentiments we're feeling as musicians in these times. What does it mean to make music at this time? What does it mean to write original songs, to storytell through song and melody? And it was interesting, we kind of just let it be, right? We were talking about it for, in an emotional way, and then let it be, and then we continued to rehearse. And what I strangely noted, which I had noted before, is that I'm sort of answering my questions through the songs that I'm writing. I'm giving myself that type of comfort. I'm giving that refuge through the songs themselves. So that last piece is written out of these storytelling gatherings that I've been a part of, where again, it's amazing how we'll look to this old philosophy and dusty books, or we'll look to new shiny books with self-help titles, and yet around us in the natural world, these stories are unfolding that teach the way it is, that teach the way things are, I should say. And often it's us placing ourselves and our own personal story into that larger story, the ecological family of things, that vast story that then we construct that meaning that is often much more logical, much more comforting, and it actually liberates us from a lot of these weights that we carry around our own personal story and its importance. And that was a really special thing that we were talking about yesterday. So that chorus, old song, so it's we read the leaves. They're my sacred scriptures, but they turn to smithereens. That's what the lyrics say. And it says, but they sing, the leaves, they sing this old song, say we won't be too numb to sing to our dark times when they come. And that thread as life will bring us up and bring us down. That sentiment I only hope to continue to carry with these songs. And that one other line in the opening, you want roots, but we give the seed. So this amazing process again, maybe the promised land is just the next generation. So you see kind of those overlapping themes. So this next song we'll play for you is, it grew out of my return to songwriting after a number of years just playing instrumental music, being steeped in other world folk instruments, Indian classical music, and coming back to songwriting again, wanting to bring that mantra music and that heart to the music, but also wanting it to be a mirror that I could stand in front of. Songwriting is such an intense mirror at times, and so this song is about that process of returning to songwriting and the journey that it carries each of us on when we find a practice like that is such a potent mirror into our own awareness. Just checking in with the maestro on the set list over here. It's all in my mind. Our kind videographer, David, here, he said, do you need a music stand? And I thought, oh, geez, do I? No, but it's all in my heart, actually. But sometimes that's a little scary, right? When it's all just written in your heart. It's the only thing you really can bank on, but it's still a little scary. All right.
Hold both yourself and I with space to believe. Well, the future is now in our hands and hearts. Well, why won't we see? The bending branches show us what is down, with only fate to feed. So when you move, well, no echo returns. Truth written in bone so prove. Well, only silence can hold us. Dancing weight of stone belay your head down, wait for the earth to turn now, darling. Bring your questions of love, bring your questions of grief, for we each now share the story of running away. Like light was made to roam, let each way be a horizon. Like your time it was made to come, let each way be a horizon. So soon. It was so soon. Well, yes, there are ways of being ready. The truth is written in bone. Will the lungs let loose filters of the self, dancing weight of stone, but lay your head down, wait, well, to place the blame now, darling. Sing your questions of love, sing your questions of grief, for we each now share the story of running away, share the story of coming to say, well, this is how we will be made. See, this is how we will be made. This is how we will be made. This is how we will be made in the purposes of love. Like light was made to roam, let each way be a horizon. Like my time was made to come, well, let each way be a horizon. Like each heart was made, well, to become the ways of the horizon.
can we get Noah a little bit more guitar in his monitor? Although I'm now on the banjo. I'm not sure how that makes it happen. It's kind of like that sometimes. So that last piece, there's that line, bring your questions of love, bring your questions of grief, for we each share the story of running away. And that's often what I felt coming to this songwriting practice. I just want to run away. It doesn't make sense. It's so easy to say it's not logical. It's not going to be a good use of my time in all these ways. And there's still that deeper river, that deeper running, that when I first returned to songwriting, I was in tears almost every morning writing. And that is that deeper well of something's coming forward, however it manifests, wherever it leads, and in a beautiful sentiment that, again, Noah and I were also speaking about. Just it's trusting that flow and actually getting out of the way and letting that surrender happen. Hallelujah. Holla back. All right. So, and I also want to go back because there was another funny thing funny and profound. You never know how these poems or how these songs will land with people. And that poem that I recited before the second to last piece that opens with the act of listening itself was the one true voice. And it matters not who speaks, it only matters how we hear the truth. This was based on years of practice. Listening music is often thought of as a playing, like I'm doing, but it's many of the masterful musicians that I've sat with, they talk more about listening than they talk about playing. And that process of listening, and I had the amazing opportunity to play with a very sweet friend who's a percussionist, a Danish percussionist. And after we played together, I recited that poem. He'd never heard it before, and he said, that is my favorite poem. And then 8 days later, he told me that he had schizophrenia, that he had suffered from schizophrenia his whole life. And then he went into the details of how he heard voices, right? So it's like how a particular line will mean something entirely different given the world that someone else lives in. And the beauty of him resonating with some truth there that I was pointing to in my own life, and that place where we can meet, however different our lives are. Art can be that beautiful pointing to the things that can never be said, but can be shared and felt together. So this next piece we're going to play for you is called Garden, and it's a particular favorite of mine. It's a very simple song, and it sprouted. It leafed and tendrilled out very quickly, but it's about sort of the things that sprout unexpectedly in our lives and our relationships and in time. And it's called Garden. I've been waiting in the garden, find me grown. I've been waiting in the garden, name me home. But if we wait, well, there will be riddles or treasures of patience, but who can know? But virtue cannot be taken or painted gold. For when we wait, yes, there will be riddles or treasures of patience, but who can know? But virtue cannot be taken or painted gold. But don't give up on me here. See, this matter is dark or near. Can you see yourself in me appear? No, no, no. But I won't give up on you here. But yes, this matter is dark or near. And I can see myself in you from here.
I've been waiting in the garden, find me close. I've been waiting in the garden, will we name this love our own? But if we wake, tell me, how will it figure in our patience with a Lord? But does the heart have to break to make it whole? But if we wake, tell me, how will it figure in our patience with a Lord? But does the heart have to break to make it whole? But don't give up on me here. See, this matter is dark or near. Can you see myself in me appear? No, no, no. But I won't give up on you here. But how much imagination and patience is needed, dear, to keep us in love from here?
I like that growl that was coming out of there. That's kind of the spirit. That is definitely the spirit. If we wait, yes, there will be riddles and treasures of patience, but who can know? Virtue cannot be taken or painted gold. And if we wake, tell me, how will it figure in our patience with a Lord? But does the heart have to break to make it whole? So this next piece we'll play for you is another song that was written coming back from the Himalayas. Again, this interesting process of going into the most astounding, astonishing heights. The first time that we laid eyes on the Himalayas, it was in this mysterious, they're always enshrouded in clouds, and if you get a clear look, it feels as if you're staring into something that you maybe are not worthy of. It's a vastness. It occupies a space in the sky that I never knew that mountains could occupy. And so it's that height that draws us, and this song is about that height. Again, sing to the valleys, sing to that fertility, and yet also sing to this height, these thin, sparse, aired places that are closer to the heavens, we may say. And yet along the paths, the development, the garbage, the trash, this clashing of worlds of spirituality and materiality. And so this song is about that. It's called The Mountain's Claim.
We sing for the humble, we sing for the grace, we sing for this coming of age. For this could be the place where we sing our praises for good fortune in the mysteries we've made. We forged friction to find, well, our own faces. Each bedside of death make us, well, ripe in wait. But a spark has lasted, it finds no wrong seasons. Our parts to fashion light. It's higher than these mountains claim. It's higher than will our shame. It's higher than will each mountain it will sway. It's higher than will every name. There we sing for the hunger, we sing for the waste, we sing for this coming of age. See, this could be the place where we sing, well, our praises for good fortune in the mysteries we've made. But it's higher than these mountains, lift each source of light. And it's higher than these mountains with reverence for the night. It's higher than these mountains claim. It's higher than will our shame. It's higher than will each mountain it will sway. Now, higher than will every name. There we sing for the humble, we sing for the grace, we sing for this coming of age. See, this could be the place where we sing our praises for good fortune in the mysteries that we've made. For a spark has lasted, It finds no wrong seasons, our part to fashion light.
Doing? Got a couple more songs for you. Is that hanging in there for that? All right. I have no idea what time it is, but yes. Joyfully hanging, yes. Bear with me here, the humidity is dropping. Yesterday, Noah said, "I'm just so glad to see that you travel with a tuner, Eric." And I said, "Wow, I've never been thanked for carrying a tuner around. I've always been a little self-conscious, to be honest. But, it's just the sweetness of staying in tune. All the allies we can use." So this next song is called "Teach Us to Wait," and it's about that process of feeling that we're ready, and yet when certain things present themselves, sometimes it feels quite late, and yet it's just right on time. And so anybody that's waited a long time or is still waiting, this is for you.
Lay me at the feet of my story. Make me offer my heart for any glory. Then teach us to wait. Teach us to make our move, but not make haste. Show us what we are in the sorting. Common blood of our need for restoring. Then teach us to wait. Teach us to make our move, but not make haste. So gather my heat when you need it for a morning. common blood of our need to see the unforming. So lay me at the feet of my story. Make me offer my heart for any glory.
All right, thank you. That was the song we played in rehearsal right after we asked all these existential questions, you know. So yeah, should we do one? We'll do one more poem. Is that? And maybe we'll do something a little special that I love to have been doing. Don't worry, you're gonna do the same thing. No. I have been doing some fun improvisational French poetry. So I write and hyper meticulously rewrite and edit and then memorize my poems in English. But I had a very sweet experience with a friend of mine who's a native Spanish speaker, a Puerto Rican friend of mine, and we had an amazing time on his porch a couple years ago and passing the guitar back and forth. And he was singing in Spanish, and then I said, well, just keep it going. I'll just speak some loving words in French. And I grew up speaking French. My mother was born in the French Alps and then moved to the States when she was young, but she was very diligent in speaking French to me in the household. And my mother actually passed when I was 10 of cancer, but up until that point, we were speaking French all the time. And then after, of course, we didn't speak French as much in the house. My dad is an American, but he speaks French very well. And yet, of course, it carried her presence. And that's exactly been the seed of these impromptu poetry things in French, is that hearing the French language, both, of course, externally as well as spoken from inside of me, is a contact, is a presence, is an embodying and invoking of my mother's spirit. And so it's a joy to share that language. And even when I get off, I'm actually about to fly to France in a couple weeks, and even when I get off the airport, you know, they're just telling you, like, if you've lost your luggage, si tu as perdu le valise, tu vas, and I'm just like, oh yes, finally I'm being like licked by like the mother tongue, lion tongue, you know. So anyways, maybe you'll get a little bit of that through this. So. Tu arrives toujours dans le son.
c'est près comme le forêt, ça arrive, ça touche, ça bouge, le vent. Ton souffle, c'est la voix de tout le monde qui parle. Quand ça s'arrive, ça se frotte, ça te brosse. Le pot, le cœur, le corps. C'est le langage de ma mère, ça vive dans le sang. De parler, d'entendre, on parle les oreilles, on écoute avec le cœur. Alors c'est toujours que tu arrives dans le sang, près comme la forêt. Ton voix, c'est les couleurs de le soleil, les couleurs de les feuilles, de les fleurs. D'asseoir avec une amie, on prend le temps de parler doucement. Pratiquement, c'est impossible d'expliquer, mais ça arrive toujours dans le sang. Et j'entends avec le cœur, ça bouge avec le sang, ça brosse, ça frotte comme le vent, mon peau, et j'arrive. Ça court haut, toujours près. Ta voix, j'entends avec le cœur. Et tu restes toujours les plus petits de sang qui partirent et qui arrivent. Je porte toujours dans le sang et la musique de notre voix. Thank you. Thank you, Noah. So this last song that we'll play for you is a song that I wrote about a particular stretch of a particular creek around here that I have been canoeing for 7 odd years religiously, and breaking through snow and ice, or riding the flood as safely and as wily as I possibly can. And it's very interesting. My grandfather was an amazing canoeist and outdoorsman, and I had a canoe, the image, the beautiful form, floating in my awareness, in my memory for years. And I finally just bought a canoe and started going onto the water. What a thought. And the liberating quality, the movement, the soothing, and yet the remembering that happened through that in this particular stretch of creek as I returned to it for the first 3-4 years, was this secret romance, the secret kind of union with a place, and the amazing dynamic quality of the waterways, the vascular system of this land, and the amazing abundance of wildlife and bird life that live on the river. And over the past few years, I'd find myself start to think, well, is this like an escape? Am I running away from something? I'd almost kind of have those meta thoughts in my mind as I was there. And what I progressively started to realize and was revealed to me is that I was keeping up an end of a bargain that I had made with this place, to honor it, to tell it, to speak about it, to witness the myriad creatures that made that place its home, whether seasonally or year-round, and the amazing family of things that I have encountered there, the osprey and bald eagle, the snapping turtle, the mink, the muskrat, and they each reveal themselves in different ways. And there's so much themselves. They often would look at me sort of like, what are you doing here? No one comes down here anymore. And then you think about the pollution that's in our waters and the quality with which there still is so much life, and how that's sustained with this toxicity. And so trying to balance between those realities and yet have communion with this place.
And again, each family would reveal itself in different ways. The snapping turtle at one time, the mink at another, the red-tailed hawk, or the blue heron, the green heron. These characters all have personalities, and it often is reminding me how, from what I can feel and see, none of these creatures rejects their essence. The blue heron is not trying to not be a blue heron. It just is a blue heron. And the fascinating quality of humans, of how we can resist our own human nature, and that's a deeper conversation, but the true essence of being a human and how we can express that simplicity, I learn each time I canoe that stretch of creek. And I know that one of my friends is here that sees me sometimes go into that creek as I'm looking through the darkness at you, smiling. So this piece is called The River Turns. Turns to say, this run of water never knew the path anyway. And the arrow it spins to cut the day. Not every target can be seen now anyway. Let it be now, child, let it be, let it be. With your hands and feet, now child, your hands and feet, with your hands and feet. Let it be now, child, let it be, but let it be. With your hands and feet, now child, your hands and feet, with your hands and feet. Well, the dream, it turns today. Like no leaf regrets what it comes to say. Well, and the creek will speak, but what will you say? Well, if you deem your work to be greater than your days, let it free now, child, let it free, just let it free. With your hands and feet, now child, your hands and feet, with your hands and feet.
let it be. Now, child, let it free. Just let it free. With your hands and feet. Now, child, your hands and feet. With your hands and feet. Take my hands in the morning. Take my heart well in the night. Let me live only long enough to lie again beside your heart. It's where we meet now, child, it's where we meet. But it's where we meet. So set it free now, child, set it free. Just set it free. With your hands and feet. Now, child, your hands and feet. With your hands and feet. Yes, I'll be there, child. Yes, I'll be there when you need. With my hands and feet. Now, child, my hands and feet. With my heart and speech. See, we sing to bless the morning now, and we sing to bless the night, singing heaven is only your arms. They've come to hold me tonight. To say, this run of water never knew the path anyway. All right. Yes. Noah Hoffeld on the cello. I want to say a thank you to David and Scott. Video and sound, amazing to be here with you. Thank you all that came for our intimate studio audience here. Round of applause. So, yes, it's a pleasure to share this. I look forward to hearing where this landed in you and that amazing image of the river again, those teachings that come through. This run of water, it never knew the path anyway. So we join together and may we flow together and share our gifts. And I hope this planted some seed of energy sprouting, rooting in you this evening. So thank you and have a wonderful night. Eric Archer.